This video is going to show you how to add content to your main idea slides. So first, let's review the requirements. You have to have at least one visual, that would be an image, clip art, or an infographic, related to the evidence that you used to support the main point. And in the speaker notes, you also will need to add where you'll reference the visual during your presentation and what you will say about it. You can have bullet points with keywords or short phrases to represent the evidence on the slide itself if you want, but it's not required. Remember, this is a visual aid, so we want it to be mostly visual. It is supposed to support what you're saying and not be something that the audience can read instead of listening to you. So you are going to be doing this directly on the slide. So far, we've done most of the things in the speaker notes beneath the slide, as you can see here. So you can find your images by just using Google. You can also create your own infographics in Canva. You have some options. But I just Googled teens using technology and I got a lot of these pictures. And one thing that my evidence talks about, one piece of evidence talks about how kids are having less physical activity because of using their devices. And then the other piece is talking about them having them in bed and sleep disruption. So I need to find some pictures that connect to that or kind of maybe illustrate that. And I kind of like this one right here, this guy sitting alone on the couch with all the devices. Um, we have some other ones here where there are more teens using technology, but the socialization is a little bit more active than I want them to look. And also, it sends a much more positive vibe. And this is a negative effect, and I want to communicate that through the visual. So I'm kind of skipping all over all of those. And I like the fact that he has so many devices around him. That I like that exaggeration, really emphasizing the device use. So I am just going to copy that image and paste it into my slide. I'm going to make my text box a little smaller because, again, you want the visuals to be most of the slide. We really want to emphasize visual aid here. So I also need to find one about sleep disruption. And so there's this one where the kid is kind of hiding under the covers with a device. That one wouldn't be bad. But in the below the one that I already found has this girl like actually asleep in bed and she's like surrounded by devices. And again, I kind of like the exaggeration here, but I think it also depicts all of the different types of devices that might be near you while you're sleeping. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this image and I'm going to put it into my slide. And so I have my effects on health. That's my title. And I'm just going to make that a little bigger. And then I think I also am just going to format it a little bit differently. So that I can fit those on there. And then, like I said, if you want, you can add some bullet points to kind of add some words to what the pictures are showing. And okay. And the last step would be to then add in some notes about where I am going to reference these. So I think when I'm presenting, I think it really illustrates this idea of having a routine that includes little physical activity, which is something I say in the evidence. You could also put it somewhere in your explanation if it was more relevant there. And so I am just going to add this idea that this picture, and then I added kind of some stage directions, so to speak, that say point to the picture on the slide of a guy laying on a couch using technology illustrates this idea. And then I go back into my paraphrase. And then so I want to do the same thing for the other piece of evidence. And looking at what I have here and thinking about how I want to incorporate the picture, I think that I'm going to put it at the end of my evidence. And so I'm going to say that while teens are unlikely to surround themselves with as many devices as seen in this picture, point to picture on slide, a lot of teens sleep with at least one of the technologies pictured. And so now I have added visuals to a slide. And you just want to do that for each of your 3 main point slides, slides 3, 4, and 5 in your presentation. And once you have done that, you are done with this step.